And a very pleasant good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Sawyer Center on the campus of Southern Nazarene University here in Bethany, Oklahoma, and we're set for another exciting season of SNU Crimson Storm basketball. I'm Luke McConnell, who will be with you for the full ride this season, and alongside Phil Younts. We'll talk to him here in a minute. Last year, the Crimson Storm, a program best 27-3, including 21-1 in Great American Conference play. They swept the regular season and the conference tournament title, earning their first trip to the NCAA Division II tournament, where they lost in the first round. But Crimson Storm coming into this season looking to build on that success. But as everyone will say, the past is in the past, and that is behind this team, as Coach Adam Bohach certainly wanting to look ahead to this season and not dwell on the success of the past. And Phil, that's a tough thing to do and certainly hard to overlook when it comes to such a successful season SNU had last year.
Certainly is. You know, you look at the team and they're returning a whole lot of those players that led to that success last season, but at the same time, now you're the top dog in the conference. Everyone's gunning for you. When you have the type of success that they had, only one loss the entire conference season, as you said, 3 on the season, teams are going to be gunning for you. You've got that red X on your jersey now, and teams want to be able to say they beat the best. So you got to come out and bring your A game night in and night out.
And one of the things that comes with the territory is unexpected distractions, unexpected setbacks, and a couple of those have already occurred here in preseason camp for the Crimson Storm. The first being senior forward Quaylen Newton, out for the season likely with a hip injury. He sustained that earlier in preseason camp. So a huge blow for the Crimson Storm. He was their leading rebounder last season, 6.9 boards per game, and just a ton of energy in that starting lineup for the Crimson Storm. Also freshman Mo Wilson, who had a promising start to camp, has a broken wrist. He will be out until at least December with that injury. And Phil, it's a huge blow for one of your senior leaders to be out for the season right off the bat before you even break in the season.
Certainly is. You see that Quaylen Newton, who was an honorable mention all-conference player last year, you lose someone like that, you lose that kind of veteran leadership. That's certainly going to hurt your team. That certainly can hurt morale. So it's time now. Other players got to step up. You've got to see some of those other players, some of those backcourt players really start to shine. Might be younger, but you're in a big-time program like SNU, coming off such an incredible season last year. This is your moment and opportunity to really show that you belong and you deserve that time on the court.
Factoring in Newton's loss, the Crimson Storm returned 9 of their top 10 scores from a year ago, led by junior Jonathan Dunn, averaged 19 points per game last season. Junior Micah Spate averaged 16.5 points per game last season, and then the man in the middle, senior Noah Starkey, 13.2 points per game and 6.6 boards per game. And as far as these three are willing to take the Crimson Storm, that's as far as this team's going to go with the trio of Dunn, Spate, and Starkey.
Absolutely, and we saw in that exhibition match against Sterling College here last weekend, those three came out and picked up right where they left off. Dunn was stroking it from beyond the arc. Spate was all over the court, dishing the ball around, grabbing steals, grabbing rebounds, and then Noah Starkey was just a force down low. There was nothing that Sterling could do to contain him, and the Crimson Storm really gained some positive momentum from that exhibition game, and we saw those three continue to push this team forward.
The Crimson Storm's first opponent for the 2018-19 campaign will be Nebraska-Kearney. The Lopers coming in from the MIAA conference, and Phil, we saw a classic matchup there between Oklahoma Baptist and Washburn in the first game of this challenge. Earlier, Washburn came out on top 99-96. The Crimson Storm would certainly enjoy it if this matchup was not quite as close as that one and not as thrilling. But the Lopers come in having lost a couple huge parts of their team last year. All-region forward Trey Landsman, and then a couple all-conference guards in Ty Danielson and Lane Rorich. those guys combined for 60% of Kearney's overall scoring total from last year. So they've got a lot of youth, very young team, unknown expectations for this Loper squad. And, you know, coming in, you know, some of the people I've talked with there, you know, say a 500 record and getting in the league tournament is a goal of this team. So certainly a challenge, though, for SNU with a historically, you know, competent Kearney program. Certainly won't come in and lie down in any way, shape, or form.
Absolutely not. Anytime you get some MIAA opponent, you know that they're going to be up for the task, and so it's going to be up to SNU. Nebraska-Kearney's no stranger to tough competition, and so it's going to be up to SNU to stay focused and, as I mentioned before, really pick up right where they left off last season. You know, throughout the season they were dominant, and they have to remember that they are the dominant team and come out with that same aggression that we've seen throughout the season last year from the Crimson Storm.
Just one senior on the Lopers roster and just one returning starter. We'll get to those starting lineups a little bit later on. But going back to the Crimson Storm, one thing that Coach Adam Bohach wants to see from his team, really a couple things. The biggest improvements for the Crimson Storm really are centered around the three-point line and the free throw line, just being more efficient on offense, and that's really saying something, because last year the Crimson Storm were not a bad offensive team, but their record kind of overshadowed some of the shortcomings they had offensively. They finished in the middle of the pack as far as in conference, as far as offensive efficiency is concerned, and Coach Bohach said, you know, they won a lot of games because of the chemistry that they had on the court and off the court, as well as through a really stingy defense. Kind of overshadowed a little bit of the shortcomings they had on the offensive end. So he wants to see more three-pointers, more free throws, and then limiting those turnovers as well. And, you know, Phil, it's really interesting for him, you know, to me it was interesting for him to say that, because, again, it certainly wasn't my thought that they were very inefficient last year offensively.
Certainly, when you've got a record like they had last year, going 27-3 overall, it's hard to think that there could be any deficiencies on a team like that. But in the end, as he said, getting to the free throw line and three-point shooting is going to be a big part for this team. Shooting 39% from three last year and 75% from the free throw line. Neither of those are bad numbers by any means, but for a team that is this star-powered, you would expect to see those numbers higher. So it's going to come down a lot, I think, to ball movement and shot selection for them to really be the team that Adam Bohach expects for them to be offensively.
For the Crimson Storm, two guys that will have to step up in a big way and very quickly as well are senior R.J. Palmer and sophomore Ashton Charles. They'll be manning that 4 position that Quaylen Newton has vacated, and both of those guys bring a little bit of a different mindset to it. Newton very athletic and, you know, would pound the paint a little bit, not a threat at all from the outside, whereas Charles and Palmer both can stretch the floor a little bit with their shooting ability, but both very athletic, and they'll be called on in a big way to fill the void left by Newton, both from a production standpoint and from a leadership standpoint as well. Defensively for the Crimson Storm, also centering around the three-point line and the free throw line, as the Crimson Storm want to do a better job of limiting three-point opportunities, as well as being better in as far as fouling. They fouled a lot last year and gave opponents a lot of chances at the charity stripe, and they want to cut down on those this year. And what are some ways that you think that they can do that, Phil?
It just comes down to smart team defense. You know, as we talked about, they were a very good defensive team overall last year, and it's going to come down to continuing to play that team defense. You can't be an individual out there trying to rack up your own stats, but when it's time to rotate, you got to rotate. Whenever you got to switch off the screen, you switch off the screen, or you fight through the screen. You can't be lazy on the defensive end. So as a team, they just got to continue to make those strong rotations and really close out on the three-point shot. Whenever when they're playing in that zone that we've seen them play at times, really you've got to close out on shooters. So often it's easy to just kind of fall off and kind of take a lazy route to the shooter, but you really got to close that lane quickly. And that's going to be important for them to do. And of course, with Noah Starkey manning the middle, that really does limit teams down low. So when you've got a player like that limiting down low, you just got to ensure that you're not also, in turn, giving them the open looks from beyond the arc.
We're just about set for tip here. Less than a minute to go before we get this show on the road. And Phil, what are some things that you're looking for on opening night here for the Crimson Storm?
Well, I think it comes down to aggressiveness. We saw in the exhibition game, SNU put a lot of pressure on Sterling College. They were running a lot of press defense. Even when they were up big, they were continuing to use that exhibition as a night to work on that press defense. So I think we're going to see them continue try to push the flow of the game with the athleticism that this team has. Looking forward to see them continuing to show off that athleticism and really push Kearney back on their heels because of the speed and athleticism of this Crimson Storm team.
Well, we will go ahead and turn it over to the PA announcer for tonight's starting lineups. We'll announce those as well as we hear those so that they're clear for you.
MIAA Central Region Challenge featuring the Lopers of Nebraska-Kearney and your Southern Nazarene University Crimson Storm. Now let's meet tonight's starters. First for the visiting Lopers of Nebraska-Kearney. Starting in guard, a 6'5" sophomore from Lincoln, Nebraska, number 2, Sam Morris. Starting in guard, a 6'5" junior from Purdue, Nebraska, number 5, A.J. Jackson. Starting in guard, a 6'8" sophomore from Marshall, Minnesota, number 24, Weston Taylor, Nebraska. Starting in forward, a 6'5" junior from Harlan, Iowa, number 32, Kyle Jewell. Starting in forward, a 6'4" freshman from Kearney, Nebraska, number 44, Cannon Costa. Lopers are head coached by Kevin Locke. And now the starters for Joel.
On the court from our vantage point here, maybe with shoes on, a generous 6'8", but certainly an opportunity for the Crimson Storm to exploit with a little bit of size here early.
Certainly. When you've got a guy like Noah Starkey, 6'11", 250 pounds, that's going to be a tough matchup for the Lopers down low. It'll be interesting to see what kind of defense they throw at Starkey to try to make it a little more difficult for him down there in the paint.
Quaylen Newton doing a lot of coaching up and looks quite dapper there in the suit he has on over there on the bench. So it's going to be Starkey and Baker McGrath to jump it in center circle, and Starkey wins that one easily, and Micah Spate will take over for the first possession of the season for the Crimson Storm. Stevens up top with it now. Looking around to Spade on the left wing. Gets a screen from Starkey. Drives baseline. Finds himself open on the other side and drains the jumper for the first points of the year.
That was a nice drive there by Micah Spade. Just kind of turned around and all of a sudden found himself wide open along the baseline.
Morris working against Spade up top and gives it to Jackson, who's guarded by Palmer. Jackson tries the long two. It's short. Starkey grabs the rebound and quick outlet to Jonathan Dunn.
I think we're going to be saying Starkey with a rebound a lot in this one.
Absolutely. Palmer down low on the blocks. Guarded by Coster. Great bounce pass to Stevens in the corner. Gets it back over on the wing to Dunn. Tries the long three. High archer is no good. Very long.
Tough shot there by Dunn. He shot the ball extremely well in that exhibition game, but left that one well beyond the rim.
Dunn knocks the pass from Morris to Jackson out of bounds, and the Lopers will inbound on the sideline. Great crowd on hand for the first game of the season on this Friday night. Thanks for tuning in with us. We'll have your coverage all season long here at the Sawyer Center, and then Sports Information Director James Hill will have you covered for all road games in conference play as well. So we've got you covered all season long as A.J. Jackson goes to work on R.J. Palmer and puts in the nice right hook to tie the game at 2.
That was a nice move by Jackson to get just enough room over the bigger Palmer, who played nice defense. Just an incredible move.
Starkey doing some big work inside, and he scores with a righty hook of his own in the lane. Put SNU back up by 2. Coach Bohach said Starkey's in the best shape of his career at this point, and the senior certainly looks it as well. Morris with a deep three over Spate, and it's good.
That's a tough shot there. Spate might have been sagged off a little bit, but a nice shot to finish it, and then he proceeds to throw it out of bounds.
Pass through the hands of Jonathan Dunn. So a little bit of rust early for the Crimson Storm, and they trail by 1. 2 minutes gone by here in the first half. Morris down low against Spate. Has a bit of a size advantage on the 5'10" Spate, but he misses it wide. Spate quick outlet up ahead to Dunn. Takes Jackson down to the baseline, puts it up, and he's fouled.
That was a strong move there by Dunn.
He will go to the line for 2, and that foul goes on A.J. Jackson, his first. So 2 shots here for Jonathan Dunn. High arcing shot goes in. Second one is good, and SNU regains a 1-point lead here early on in this one.
You like seeing that drive there by Dunn after a wild 3-point shot early on. Tells himself to attack the basket, and that's what he does. Earns himself that trip to the line.
Jackson, another quick shot over Palmer. It goes in. Looked like that one even banked off the glass there from the corner. Pretty tough ankle there.
Yeah, Kearney knocking down some tough shots here early. Hand in the face. They don't care. They're going right at SNU.
Palmer, good aggressive drive. Like to see that from him. Missed it as Morris comes out with it. Stops, pops at the elbow. It's wide left. And Dunn gets the rebound, and we're back running the other way. Kicks it to Spade on the left wing. Now Palmer up top. Gets it down low to Starkey. We got a foul down low on Baker McGrath. It's going to be his first. Trying to bully Starkey in the paint, and ref's not having any of that, and that's a second team foul on the Lopers. 3 minutes gone by. The Lopers lead this one 7-6. Spate gets it into Starkey. He'll kick it to Palmer, who drives in, kicks to Dunn, back up to Spate at the top of the three-point line, and he buries the straightaway 3.
Great find there by Dunn. You know, he wanted to take the shot himself, but dished it over to Spate, drills the 3, and then the Storm come right back and force a turnover.
Pass right through the hands of Coster there, and SNU back in possession, up 9-7. Just over 3 minutes gone by here in the first half. Palmer working with it up top. Chris Stevens with it. A little two-man action there. Spate gets it into Starkey, who's just too strong for Baker McGrath down low, and he puts it in.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for the Lopers all night if they continue to play that man-to-man, trying to body Noah Starkey up down low. They just don't have the size to do that. They're going to have to double team or throw a zone at SNU, or they're just going to do that all night long. Jackson, quick trigger for three is short. Dunn coming back with it. Three-pointer of his own is good. Timeout Kearney as SNU has opened up a 14-7 lead. Picking up right where they left off at the end of last season, and it's 14-7 now for the Crimson Storm and ahead. And you like what you see so far, Phil? Absolutely. You know, just like that 8-0 run for SNU, kind of coming out a little bit slow, struggling, a little bit sloppy, but then all of a sudden you see in some great ball movement and some big-time shots. Dunn drills that three, had the nice assist to Spate just a moment ago, who drilled the three as well. And, of course, as we mentioned, this Kearney team does not have the body to stop Starkey. So as long as they continue getting it down low to him, I think that's going to be wide open for him all night long. Something that would be good to see this season, especially with Newton out for the season. Like I said earlier, he was their leading rebounder last year. You want to see Starkey kind of assert himself a little bit more on the boards. There's not very many people that the Crimson Storm are going to run into this season, especially in conference play, that have, you know, a guy the size of Starkey. So you want to see him kind of assert himself on the glass throughout the year. Absolutely. I think him and another key part that we talked about, replacing Quaylen Newton, R.J. Palmer, his presence on the glass is going to be huge for this team. Listed at 6'7", he also has some incredible hops to go along with that 6'7" body. So his ability to get some of those 50-50 balls is going to be critical for this Crimson Storm team throughout the season. First substitutions for the game for the Crimson Storm. Stevens and Palmer sit down, and Ashton Charles, the sophomore from Klein Collins High School in Spring, Texas, checks in, and the transfer, Logan Hicks, checks in for Stevens. Hicks transferred from Midwestern State. A lot of energy for the transfer, and a lot of potential as well, as there's a steal for the Crimson Storm. Dunn working with it on the right wing. Goes around the Starkey screen, kicks in the corner to Hicks for three. It's short. Morris with the rebound. Pushing tempo up the court, he's guarded by Charles. Coster up top with it. Hits it over to Jackson, who guarded by Spate. A little bit of a mismatch here with Jackson and Spate, and Jackson will go right at him, but some nice defense makes him leave it short. Spate comes away with it. Works again at the elbow and gets it down low to Starkey. Quick turn and hook, and it's just too easy for Noah Starkey in the paint. 6 quick points for the senior center, and it's 16-7 SNU. Charles guarding Jackson now, and SNU switching liberally here in the first half, with the Lopers very evenly spaced across the height spectrum. Coster with the miss, Charles the rebound. Spade up ahead to Dunn, another three is very long, but Charles picks up the ricochet and puts it up. He misses it long, and Coster comes away with the rebound. You know, we've seen Dunn take 3 threes, 1 he drilled and 2 just missed wildly. Kyle Jewell with the three-pointer is no good. Scrum on the floor for the ball, and we're gonna have a tie up here, and the SNU bench enjoys the hustle. Possession arrow will give the ball here to the Lopers, as they're ready with their first set of substitutions for the evening, as Carter Burns checks in, as well as Henry Penner. Jackson and Baker McGrath will sit down. Even though the ball stays here with the Lopers, you love that aggressiveness by Dunn to get on the floor and tie that ball up on that play. New shot clock here for the Lopers. Morris up top, over to Jewell. Low to Coster's working on Hicks. Gets him in the air, but fades away. Misses the shot off the side of the backboard, no good. Great defense there by Hicks, going straight up. So Spate will work the ball up the court. Spate with a sweet pair of Kobe's tonight. Really like those. Those are looking nice. Dunn up top with it.
Works around the screen from Starkey. Little lob up ahead to Starkey, comes down with it, kick in the corner to Hicks. Three-pointer on the way is good. Didn't leave that one short, and Logan Hicks has his first points as a Crimson Storm member.
I think that one would make Kobe proud.
Three-pointer on the way for Carter Burns is good over the outstretched arms of Starkey.
Quick answer there for the Lopers, trying to stay within arm's reach of this one.
And the Lopers finally halt the run for the Crimson Storm. Dunn back to Starkey, and he's hammered going up by Morris, is who I believe they're going to get with this one. And that will be the first foul on Sam Morris. And the third team foul on the Lopers. Crimson Storm with 0 team fouls to this point, something that they'll be pleased with as Starkey goes to the line for 2. First one's up, and it is good. Starkey, an 80% free throw shooter last year. Terrific percentage for the 6'11 center. Micah Spate will take a seat, and Zach Johnson checks in for his first action today, the senior from Mansfield, Texas. Great bench contributor last year, especially in the steals department. One of their best defenders, had 49 steals, which was 3rd on the team last year.
You know, that kind of bench presence, certainly what you're going to need. As much star power as you have, you still got to have the ability to come off the bench and contribute, especially on the defensive side of the ball. So having a player like Zach Johnson is going to be huge for the Crimson Storm this season. Burns
with the air ball three-pointer. Dunn with it now for 3, off to the left. And Starkey just too long there. Johnson up top with it now. Elbow jumper is short. Dunn hustling for the rebound, gets it. Oh, and he just stepped on the end line.
That's tough. Looked like he had it, but foot just across the line.
Yep, looked like the spin to get it back up top was what did him in there. And the Lopers will take over possession here. Morris working on Johnson. Drives by him to the baseline, and he is fouled by Johnson there on the drive. That'll be the first team foul on the Crimson Storm and the first foul on Zach Johnson. Palmer checks back into the game for Noah Starkey, who'll take a break with 8 points and 3 rebounds already in this one. Done with terrific defense there on Jewell, and Zach Johnson's out running with it. Palmer down the lane with the jam, and he missed it.
Oh.
That was about to be spectacular. It was halfway down, but came back out, and Dunn with another deflection, and Palmer's got the steal this time. Kicks to Hicks for 3. Good. No shortage of options for the Crimson Storm offensively. As Hicks drains his second 3 of the night, it's 24-10 Crimson Storm. Jewell, long 2 from the elbow, no good. Hicks a rebound. And here come the Storm again, pushing tempo. Down on the baseline to Charles, leans in, floats it up, no good. Morris with the rebound. Pushes up ahead to Coster. Finds Burns down low, and he lays it in.
That was poor transition defense from the Storm on that play.
Zach Johnson slows it down and works it back up the court. Lopers now in a 2-3 zone here.
It's interesting, they finally move over to the 2-3 once Starkey goes to the bench.
Charles a little bit wide of Palmer on the entry pass, and ball goes out of bounds over to the Lopers, and we got a timeout on the court here, and we'll take timeout with them. 11:17 to go first half. SNU doubling up the Lopers 24-12. Welcome back to the Sawyer Center. 11:17 to go, first half. SNU leads Nebraska-Kearney 24-12. Substitutions here for Kearney. Chase Winchester into the game, along with Parker Bating. Parker Bating. Winchester on the wing, gets it down low to Burns. Starkey back in the game, gets the block, but also got a foul. It looks like they got Noah Starkey on the foul there. Looked like a lot of ball there from
that's a tough call.
Starkey.
Looked like he was straight up all ball, but they're going to maybe get him with the body on that one.
So Burns will shoot 2 and banks the first one in. That'll work, I guess.
A point is a point, I suppose.
So Winchester, Burns, Jewell, Bating.
It's interesting. You saw him bank the first free throw and realize how long he shot the first one and was well short on the second one.
Micah Spate back into the game as well. And Coleman Edwards into the game for the first time tonight. Palmer down low. Nice lefty shot is wide. And Winchester pushing tempo with it. There's a long three is long. Palmer deflects the rebound off of Penner's foot, and it goes out of bounds over to the Crimson Storm. So Spate, Palmer, Edwards, Starkey, and Johnson on the court right now for SNU. Everybody getting some run in early. SNU already has played 9 players in this one.
Since Kearney has gone to that 2-3 zone, SNU starting to struggle a little bit. Obviously struggling to get the ball inside against the zone, and still haven't been able to find their shooters on the outside either.
Edwards for 3 is just long. Palmer battling for the rebound and can't come up with it. Jewell with it now over to Winchester. Penner guarded by Palmer, now Bating with it. He's guarded by Coleman Edwards. And a great up and under move there from Carter Burns. Got Starkey in the air and was able to finish over him. 24-15 now in favor of the Crimson Storm, and Kearney extends the defense. Edwards fires a 3 and buries it. Edwards went 6 of 8 from 3-point range in the exhibition win over Sterling the other night, and he picks up right where he left off. Edwards did shoot 35% from 3 last year, one of the team leaders on the Crimson Storm. Bating gets it down low, kicks it back out to Jewell. Burns for 3, no good, and Palmer has the rebound. And he'll come bring it up the court against a 2-3 zone here for the Lopers. Edwards cross court, skip pass to Johnson, gets it down low on the block to Starkey. Swings it back around. Edwards will try another 3, just short. Starkey tips it up, no good. Battling for the rebound, can't come up with it. Jewell has it, and he gives it up to Winchester, pushing tempo.
That was tough for Starkey. It looked like he was going to get a third chance for the Storm, just could not quite haul it in.
Bating, 3-pointer goes in and out. Went for the steal and missed it. So Spate bringing it up now, and he'll back it out. Charles and Dunn set to check in for the Crimson Storm. And they're going to catch Carter Burns with a reach-in foul there. So Starkey's drawing the fouls. A.J. Jackson checks in for Kearney, and Weston Baker McGrath in as well. Dunn and Charles come back, and Zach Johnson and R.J. Palmer will sit down for the Crimson Storm.
Powell and Starkey down low is about all Kearney's going to have a chance to do in this one.
Dunn in and out on a long 2. The Crimson Storm have gone a little cold here from the field, shooting just 39% so far. Dunn is 1 for 5 himself. Winchester down deep, left-handed hook shot no good. Charles the rebound.
Yeah, as you mentioned, gone a little cold, just 1 for their last 7. And that's mostly come since the Lopers have gone to that zone defense.
Charles very long on that three-pointer. SNU getting plenty of good looks, and a lot of their shots have been long. Maybe just a little bit too much juice early on for the Crimson Storm. Jackson battling Edwards, runs him over, no call. Bodies all over the floor. Kick out to Bading for three. Winchester with a pass from the floor. And Bading knocks it down to make it 27-18 Crimson Storm.
That is unfortunate. You play great defense, get the ball, get both teams lying on the floor, and it just kind of floats into the hands of the Lopers, who get an open three.
Spate with it now, working against the 2-3 zone. Coleman Edwards, another three-pointer is short. Starkey with the rebound, gives it back to Edwards. He drives in, kicks to Dunn. He'll drive baseline, up and under is good, and the foul.
Strong drive there by Dunn. You like to see that when you're struggling a little bit from the three-point line. Just one for your last 5 as a team. Strong drive to get to the line.
That's Baker McGrath's second foul, and we've got a timeout on the court here as Chris Stevens and Brady Mulkey will be checking in and fill this 2-3 zone that the Lopers have employed here. Kind of thrown a wrench in the Crimson Storm's offensive plan so far.
Certainly has. You know, as we talked about coming into this, Kearney does not have the size to contain some of the big men of SNU, specifically talking about Noah Starkey, but even R.J. Palmer at 6'7" is bigger than most guys on the Kearney roster. So finally going to that zone's really forced SNU into some different looks, and they've had some open shots. They just haven't been able to knock them down. And
just looking at all the numbers here, I mean, SNU attempted 13 threes. They're 4 for 4 from the free throw line. They only have 2 turnovers and 2 fouls. So really, if you look at what Coach Bohach wanted to see from his guys as far as improving offensively, the things are there. They're not turning the ball over. They're getting lots of three-pointers, getting to the line a little bit as well. And they're limiting their opponent's three-pointers, just 3 of 9 for Kearney so far. Only 2 free throw attempts, and they've forced 4 turnovers. So they're doing the thing. They're just haven't been able to make those open shots.
Absolutely. I think, kind of as you said, if you're Adam Bohach, you can't be too upset about this first half. Really, they've played a well-played game, a smart game. Just some nights your shots aren't going to fall, and so far this has been one of those nights.
Perhaps just a little bit too much juice for the Crimson Storm here early. So Brady Mulkey into the game, junior from Royce City, Texas. Jonathan Dunn will shoot 2 free throws, and 1, I should say. Completes the three-point play to make it 30-18. Chris Stevens nearly with the steal there. Penner with a step-back 3, and he buries it.
Impressive shot there from Penner. Was not expecting him to launch that one, but he drills it.
Lopers extend a little bit of full-court pressure that the Storm break pretty well, and Chris Stevens went for the dunk and got hung up on the front of the rim. So that's 2 missed dunks so far for the Crimson Storm. Not good to be 0 in that category, as Bading misses the layup, and Crimson Storm back on offense here.
That's tough to miss those dunks too, because this crowd here, they're ready to erupt on one of those throwdowns, but have not had the opportunity, as neither attempt would go down.
Mulkey is fouled by Jackson. That will be his second personal foul. 16 foul on the Lopers, so the Crimson Storm will be in the bonus with the next Kearney foul. Dunn gets the inbound pass from Spate and buries the wide open three-pointer.
That was a well-designed inbound play coming off a couple screens at the top of the key, wide open on the wing.
Good in-rhythm shot there from Dunn. Led the team in three-pointers last year. Stevens nearly with another steal on Coster, who steps in inside the three-point line and misses a long 2. Dunn comes away with the rebound. Spate drives down the lane. Great look inside to Brady Mulkey, who puts it up and in.
Strong play there from Brady Mulkey, who had some very nice playing time after some foul trouble from the big men in the exhibition game. gets his first points of the season there.
Austin Luger has checked in for Kearney, and Mulkey with a nice kind of half spin move over Luger to put that one in the basket. And just like that, Crimson Storm on a little 5-0 burst here to put things back in, control a little bit. And just being able to get the ball inside is a big key for the Storm offense.
Certainly has been. You know, as you said, just one foul away from getting to the bonus, and you're seeing their aggressiveness and ability to force their way inside really start to pay off for this team.
.5:25 to go here in the first half. SNU leading by 14. Coster drive and kick to Penner. Tries the three, it is short. Battle for the board. Spate comes away with it. Beautiful set of handles there. Kicks it to Dunn. He's going to drive baseline, and he puts it up and in over Luger.
What a nice sequence there. Spate keeping control of the ball in the spin, and then finds Dunn on the wing, and a nice drive to finish.
Winchester is pickpocketed by Spate. Beautiful job there. He's got Stevens with him. He'll take it himself with the left hand and just missed it. And then Mulkey commits the foul on Coster on the rebound.
Spate went flying into the bleachers in the back right before it happened, but he gets up quickly. He looks to be all right.
Jonathan Dunn taking care of a little bit of sweat on the floor. Hope they pay him extra for that. Spate had Stevens with him on that. Would have been a tough thread the needle pass. Probably the right call to take it himself, as he just missed the left-handed layup. Lopers come back on offense, down by 16. Morris up top with it, now over on the wing to Winchester. Luger will try a three, and he misses long. Spate with the rebound. Stevens in the corner for three, buries it. Again, everybody contributing in some way for the Crimson Storm. Winchester again stripped by Spate, and after the steal, Winchester commits the offensive foul as Mulkey had stepped in to take the charge. Unfortunate for Winchester, since he didn't even have the ball at that point. As Mulkey checks out after some quality minutes, Ashton Charles will also check out as Starkey and R.J. Palmer re-enter the game for the Crimson Storm, who lead 40-21 with 4:12 to go in the first half and in the middle of a 10-0 run.
I'll tell you, Micah Spate has been all over the court in this one as well. You know, look at him, 5 points, but that goes along with 4 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals now. It's just both sides of the court, just everywhere it seems at all times.
Palmer misses the shot inside with Starkey. Is fouled battling for the rebound. He's fouled by Luger. And that'll bring us to the under 4-minute timeout. SNU leading by 19, 40-21 with 3:55 to go in the first half. We'll take timeout too and be right back with more SNU basketball. Back here at the Sawyer Center, Noah Starkey stepping to the free throw line for a 1-and-1 opportunity. His first foul on Austin Luger, 6'8" sophomore from Alliance, Nebraska. Starkey hits the free throw there. He is 3 for 3 from the line. Already 7 boards, and for Noah Starkey, 9 points. And second one also good. Becomes the second Crimson Storm player in double figures with 10. Jonathan Dunn leading the way with 13.
As we talked about at the top of the broadcast, Coach Bohach wanting to see a little bit better free throw shooting from this team. He's got to be happy so far, 7 for 7. Of course, just Dunn and Starkey the only one shooting free throws, but I'm sure he'll take 100% to this point.
Luger able to corral the Morris miss. Up top to Baiting for 3, and he nails it. Good look from the baseline from Luger to Baiting, who is wide open, and not a great closeout there from Micah Spate. And that will snap the 12-0 SNU run. Spate down the lane, lobs it up to Starkey, who also got jammed in to the rim.
So does that put us at 0 for 3 from dunks?
That's 0 for 3 on dunks. That absolutely should have been finished.
Yeah, from here it was tough to tell if Spate was going to go for the lob or the floater, and I'm not sure if Starkey was a little confused as well because he seemed to be a little late getting to that one.
Morris drives baseline, challenges Starkey, and the ball bounces off the rim a couple times and falls through.
That's an impressive finish there, knowing that the big body of Starkey's coming barreling down on you.
Palmer with it now, up top. Gets it on the wing to Hicks, who tries another 3, and he nails it.
That's 3 threes now for Hicks, having himself in a night.
Logan Hicks, the transfer from Midwestern State. Good defense there on Coster, as well as Palmer comes away with the rebound. Kicks to Hicks, who finds Spate in the corner. Spate finds Dunn, cutting baseline for the easy backdoor layup. Beautiful look for Spate to allow that play to develop. And Dunn now with 15 points to lead the Crimson Storm.
Spate already up to 6 assists in this one as well.
Penner with another 3-pointer, and he nails it. And SNU not doing a great job closing out on the shooters. 3-pointers for the Lopers, 6 for 15. Penner is 2 for 3 himself. As Spate works around a Starkey pick.
Yeah, as we mentioned before, it's going to be key for this Storm team to rotate on defense and really close out on shooters.
Great pass from Starkey as Palmer cuts to the basket and puts it in for his first 2 points of the night after an 0 for 4 start. Coster goes right into the belly of Starkey, who picks up the foul. And Coster finishes it.
I'm not sure where the foul was. I don't know if they caught Starkey moving, but he sure looked to be straight up from this angle.
And it looks like they did give that foul to Logan Hicks on the backside with a forearm in the back there. So his first, and Starkey avoids picking up his second foul. Luger will check out, and Carter Burns back into the game for the Lopers. Coster will hit the free throw to complete the 3-point play. 1:13 to go before halftime. SNU leading 49-32. Well-rounded performance from the Crimson Storm thus far. A lot of contributors is Dunn with another 3 is Long from the left wing.
That's a quick shot there from Dunn with the hand in his face. Kind of think he planned on shooting that as soon as he got it.
And Baiting finds Coster in the corner, and he nails the 3. R.J. Palmer late on the rotation, and Coach Adam Bohach wants timeout with 50 seconds to go here in the first half. And Kearney on a quick little 6-0 run here, 9-2 run over the last minute and 20 seconds or so to cut this lead down to 14 at 49-35.
Yeah, you know, you're looking at this Kearney team, and all of a sudden they're heating up from 3, as we've been talking about. Now up to made 7 of 16 threes to this point in the first half, and that's really kind of what's kept this game within arm's reach. Still a 14-point lead, but obviously just a minute ago it was a 20-point lead, so you continue to leave shooters open. You're asking for Kearney to fight their way back into this game.
Really impressive stat for the SNU offense. 14 assists on 17 made baskets. Just tremendous job sharing the basketball so far for the Crimson Storm. The clock winds under a minute here. Spate controlling up top for SNU. Palmer swings it over to Spade, who looking down low for Starkey, but they're going to get Carter Burns with a foul there, and that's going to be number 2 on Carter Burns. Logan Hicks will check out. Zach Johnson in for the last defensive possession of the half. Starkey, first free throw is up and good. Charles waiting at the scorer's table to check in for Starkey. Second free throw up, and it is long. Charles will not check in for Starkey here. Baiting working against Zach Johnson. Drives the lane, pops at the elbow, and knocks it down.
He caught Johnson leaning there, find himself wide open on the elbow.
Parker Baiting, the 6'2 freshman from Carroll, Iowa, off the bench with 8 points in 9 minutes. Couple of three-pointers done. Pops at the elbow himself. It's blocked, but they got 1 of 3 lopers with the foul, and they're going to give that one to Kyle Jewell. That's his first. That's the 10th team foul, but it'll be 2 shots either way for Jonathan Dunn. Just 5.5 seconds remaining in this one.
Might have been a little bit of a bailout there for Dunn, as it was a tough shot from the elbow, but catches the break as they foul.
He misses the first free throw. It's 2 in a row miss now for the Crimson Storm. Charles does get to check in for Starkey now. Stevens comes in to get R.J. Palmer for this last possession. 51-37, SNU leads. The Lopers will inbound. Morris quickly pushing it up the floor against Spate. Drives right by him, all the way to the basket. Missed the layup, but Carter Burns with the tip in at the buzzer.
It looked like Crimson Storm just kind of accepted that shot was going to fall or not, and didn't think about opportunity of a tip in off the rebound. Great awareness there by the Lopers.
So Kearney finishes the half on a 10-2 run there as SNU goes into the halftime break up 51-39. We will take a break and come back with first half analysis and stats. You're listening to SNU Basketball. Welcome back to halftime here at the Sawyer Center. SNU leading Nebraska-Kearney 51-39. And Phil, a lot of good in that first half for the Crimson Storm, but plenty for Coach Adam Bohach to coach his team up there in the locker room as well.
Certainly, we saw them kind of let a 20-point lead slip away there late in that half. 10-2 run for Nebraska-Kearney to close out that first half to bring this within 12. As we were talking about, struggling to close out on shooters a little bit there, especially there late in that first half is really what allowed Kearney to allow this to still be a ball game moving into the second half.
Running through some quick stats here for SNU. Jonathan Dunn leading the scoring with 16 points, 5 of 10 from the field, 2 of 6 from the three-point line. Noah Starkey, 11 points, and just was dominant in the paint. No answers for the Lopers there in the first half. 11.7 rebounds as well for Starkey. Logan Hicks came off the bench and hit 3 of 4 three-pointers, 9 points there. Micah Spate doing a little bit of everything there in that first half. Just 5 points on 2 of 3 shooting, but did have 4 rebounds and 6 assists to lead the team. 1 steal as well. R.J. Palmer chipped in with 2 points, and Chris Stevens and Coleman Edwards 3 points each, and Brady Mulkey also with 2 points. For the Lopers, led by Carter Burns, who came off the bench to score 10 points. Parker Bating, 8 points off the bench as well, and Cannon Coster with 6 points along with Henry Penner. Sam Morris had 5 points, and A.J. Jackson with 4 points. SNU shot 44.7% from the field, 17 of 38. 47% from the three-point line, 8 of 17. So great efficiency there. Also 9 of 11 from the free throw line, and only had 2 turnovers there in the first half. And again, like we talked about, 14 assists on 17 made baskets in the first half for SNU.
Certainly, that's huge. That kind of ball movement is going to be crucial for this team moving forward. And that ball movement was really spread around. Obviously, you mentioned Spate had 6 assists, but then you've got 3 with Palmer, 2 Dunn, 2 for Starkey, and 1 for Edwards. Getting that ball movement all around. It's not one guy dominating the ball and getting the dish off late. You're seeing everybody continue moving the ball, finding the best open shot is really what's allowed them to rack up those assists and that 47% mark from beyond three-point line.
SNU also only with 4 personal fouls in the first half, just 2 of 3 from the free throw line for Nebraska-Kearney. The Lopers shot 41.7% in the first half, 15 of 36, 7 of 16 from the free throw line, 44%. So certainly a high efficiency there as well for the Lopers. SNU winning the rebounding battle 24-20, and they did force 6 turnovers there in the first half. Phil, what do you want to see from the Crimson Storm here in the second half?
Well, just a little bit more of the same. As you mentioned, only 4 fouls in that first half. That's incredible defense. We have, as much as we mentioned, struggling a little bit to defend the 3 ball. When you're able to force or only foul 3 times, also forcing 6 turnovers, getting 4 clean steals in that, that's great defense. They always teach you to defend without fouling, and the Storm doing exactly that. So you want to see them continue to do that, as well as just continuing to pound the ball inside.
Go under a minute here on the clock, and again, SNU coming off a tremendous season last year, but starting fresh here in the 2018-19 campaign. And just looking ahead, Phil, a lot of good matchups on the schedule, highlighted by this matchup here. They have a clash with Washburn tomorrow afternoon, which Washburn with a thrilling 99-96 win in the opening game of this GAC MIAA challenge here earlier against Oklahoma Baptist. Just a tremendous game down the stretch there, really exciting between those 2 teams. They go to Fort Smith after Thanksgiving for a little tournament with Midwestern State and Arkansas Fort Smith. So Logan Hicks, after transferring from Midwestern State, gets to face his former team right out of the chute here. And then the you know, the big one is a trip to Honolulu, Hawaii for Division II challenge there just before Christmas. And unfortunately, we weren't invited to do the play-by-play in color for that trip.
I know that would have been nice, but for some reason they just, I guess they didn't think we were up to the task.
So SNU will start the ball here with the second half. Stevens dumps it down low to Starkey, who going to work on Baker McGrath. Drop steps in, misses the hook, in and out, no good. And nice move there from Starkey, though. It's SNU looking to pound the paint here a little bit with their 6'11 center. Morris down low against Spate. Good defense, but Morris just a little bit too big there for Spate. Just elevates over him and scores, and we're down to a 10-point game here.
Yeah, that's the one thing that hurts with Spate is you love his speed, his athleticism, and his just ability to be all over the court. But his size can certainly be taken advantage of.
Starkey with a nice up and under move with the left-hand finish, and he responds with a basket of his own to push the lead back to 12. Coster with it on the right wing, gets it down low to Morris, who elevates over Spade again, misses the jump shot. Palmer with the rebound. Baker McGrath slow to get up here in the paint.
Storm have numbers after he's still in the backcourt, and it rattles home.
Gets the three-pointer to go after it bounces high and hits the rim a couple times, and not sure what the issue is for Baker McGrath. He's limping a little bit, but also holding his head. So he will go to the bench, get attended to by their athletic trainer, and Austin Luger will come in to replace him.
Yeah, that's tough, and that's unfortunate for the Lopers, but a good job of Southern Nazarene taking advantage and knowing that they had a numbers advantage and finding someone open in the corner.
Officials going to the scorer's table for something. Not sure if they were looking for the ability to review the play, since it looked like Baker McGrath might have taken a shot to the head. Maybe they were looking for a way to review that and see if there was any malicious intent there. Either way, SNU lead back to 15, and the Lopers coming down the court with it now. Coster again down low to Morris. Gets around, is blocked from behind by Palmer, but he got a little bit of the arm as well. And that's going to be foul number 1 on R.J. Palmer. And Sam Morris will go to the line for 2 shots, his first free throw attempts of the night.
Yeah, Palmer came in hard on that. He was really excited, thought he was going to get himself an emphatic block, but instead basically got all the arm of Sam Morris on that one.
Palmer a little shaky in his first start here. 1 for 5 from the field. Does have 3 rebounds and 3 assists along with a steal. But certainly with Quaylen Newton being out, his role changes from, you know, energy bringer and with his athleticism to someone who has to be a little bit more steady. Done with a great drop down to Starkey, who puts it home, and the foul. And finally, SNU puts a dunk through the rim.
It only took them getting fouled to get one to go through, but a monstrous throw down there off a nice bounce pass from Dunn.
So Starkey looking to complete the three-point play, and he does just that. 59-43 SNU, 18-20 to go here in this one, as Luger picks up his second foul, first team foul of the evening for the Lopers. Jackson kicks it out. Jewell, step back three-pointer is long. Jackson in there with the rebound, and he goes up and under for the finish. Nice rebound from Jackson in amongst the trees. As Spate rings it up, and Palmer with it now up top will run the offense. ISO'd on the side, and he'll take it right at Coster. Missed it off the rim. Starkey missed the tip. Morris comes away with it.
Yeah, Palmer continuing to struggle in this one. 1 for 6 from the field. Just can't quite seem to get it going in his first opportunity to start.
Coster elevates and scores over Dunn. Lopers doing a nice job hanging in there against the number 10 team in the country, Crimson Storm. Spate comes off the Starkey screen, airballs the three-pointer. Palmer gets it, puts it up and in. Nice finish there from the lefty, R.J. Palmer, with the right hand on that finish, and SNU pushes the lead back to 14.
I'm not even sure Palmer realized the ball was coming his way off the shot. He just kind of fell into his hands and did a nice job of recovering.
Morris drive and kick. Jewell misses the three. Spate has the rebound. Spate with a great backdoor dish to Chris Stevens, who finishes the layup. Beautiful pass from Spate.
That was nifty there, finding the cutting Stevens on that play. Just a great pass there by Spate. He has 9 assists now.
Morris gets around him. Starkey affected that shot nicely, and Morris missed the layup. Starkey the rebound to Spate, and Spate probing. Ball's knocked away from him.
Got a little too greedy on that pass after the nifty pass he had on the last possession.
Luger backing down Starkey. Nice up and under move. Can't finish with the left hand. Palmer has the rebound. Pass up the floor to Dunn. Just a little too far off his fingertips. We've got a timeout on the court, and we will take one with them. 15:56 to go here at the Sawyer Center. SNU leads the season opener 63-47 over Kearney. We'll be right back. And we're back here at the Sawyer Center. 15:56 to go in the season opener for the Crimson Storm, and they lead the Lopers of Nebraska-Kearney 63-47. Kearney working the ball up the court here. A.J. Jackson with it now to Parker Bading. Coster with the three-pointer, and he nails it. SNU has not been great on the closeouts tonight from the three-point line, as Kearney is now 8 of 19 from the three-point line, 42%.
Stevens was a little slow on that one. He had the opportunity to get out there, but just kind of was lazy in getting the hand up. Gave the Lopers plenty of time to knock it down.
And they catch Noah Starkey with a little bit of a clear out there. They nail him with an offensive foul. That is Starkey's second personal foul. Second on the team here in the second half. So Kearney hanging in there against SNU. Coster guarded by Stevens. Now switches over to Spate. Morris with it now. Coster over Spate is short, but A.J. Jackson with the offensive rebound. Missed a cutting Morris there. Coster posted up against Spate. Gets him in the air, and he draws the foul. It's going to be on Spate. And 2 shots coming up for Cannon Coster, who leads the Lopers in scoring with 11 now. 4 for 9 from the field and 2 of 3 from three-point range, and these will be free throws number 2 and 3 for him tonight.
Yeah,
it's up and just short.
Lopers continuing to try to go after Spate in this one. Just listed at 5'10", so they're just continuing. They don't have much of a size advantage anywhere else, so they're trying to utilize where they can find it over Micah Spate. We're continuing to see them go right after him.
Coster missed them both, but Jackson gets inside of Ashton Charles and gets the rebound.
Yeah, forgot to block him out on that one, and that'll lead to another possession. It's been a long possession for Nebraska-Kearney in this one.
Jackson for 3 over Charles. That one's short, and Starkey finally ends it with a rebound. Gives that one up to Jonathan Dunn, who will work it up behind to Starkey's pick. Now to Spate, down low to Starkey. One dribble, a little too long on the hook. Charles mistimed his jump on the tip, and Coster comes away with it, driving right down the lane, flips it in with the left hand. Strong, aggressive coast-to-coast drive from Cannon Coster, and it's 63-52 SNU now.
Yeah.
Dunn working on Jackson on the left wing, up top to Starkey.
Kearney showing some life. If you're SNU here, you're trying to put this game away early. You've got to rebound. You started out this second half strong, but all of a sudden Kearney's continuing to fight back, showing some good defense.
That ball deflected by Jackson, then deflected off of Dunn, and it goes in the back court, and that's going to be over and back on the Crimson Storm, and a turnover for SNU, their 6th of the night. And the Lopers with a chance to get this one down to single digits.
It's been almost 3 minutes of game time since SNU has scored. So it'll be interesting to see what they do, see if they can't turn some defense into offense right here.
Jackson pivots on Charles, off the glass and in, and it's a 9-point game for the Crimson Storm. Timeout, SNU, 13:31 to go in this one, and Nebraska-Kearney in the middle of a 7-0 run has cut this down to 63-54. Phil, what's been the big issue here for SNU of late?
Well, you know, I think right now we're really starting to see how much the absence of Quaylen Newton can hurt this team. We've seen R.J. Palmer, and now last few minutes we've seen Ashton Charles just struggling a little bit on the court. Ashton Charles 0 for 3 from the field. He does have 4 rebounds in his 11 minutes, but didn't have any points. And then you've got Palmer shooting just 2 of 7 to go on the field from the floor and 5 rebounds. But we're really seeing that veteran leadership that Quaylen brings, or now we're seeing a lack of that veteran leadership on the floor that he would bring to this Crimson Storm team.
Yeah, for SNU, like you said, it hasn't necessarily been a lack of movement or lack of selfishness or anything of that point offensively. They're just really missing open shots.
Yeah, certainly. You know, they're getting the looks that they want, and they're not necessarily falling here recently, and that's hurting them. You know, they jumped out, as we mentioned, to a pretty solid second half start. Now all of a sudden this 7-0 run by Kearney has them within single digits.
So SNU will inbound on the sideline in front of the Kearney bench. Zach Johnson is checked into the game for Chris Stevens. Palmer, Spate, Starkey, and Dunn join him on the floor right now. Johnson with it, penetrates, kick out to Spate. Starkey working against Carter Burns, kicks it out to Johnson. He drives in on Baiting, wild pass to Dunn. He's hauled in, and Dunn is fouled by A.J. Jackson, who does not agree with the call.
A little bit of a wild possession there for the Storm, gets bailed out as Dunn gets fouled on the jumper.
So Dunn goes to the line for 2 free throws. Dunn shot 76% from the free throw line a year ago, and he hits the first one. He's now 6 of 7 from the line tonight. And leads the Crimson Storm with 17 points. Misses the second one, but Starkey with the rebound. Harassed in the paint and Baiting with the strip, but they get him with a foul, and he doesn't like the call either.
Those long arms of Noah Starkey will certainly come in handy off those longer misses off free throws.
Johnson with the inbound in the corner to Palmer, and Dunn will set up the offense up top. Lopers back in that 2-3 zone that gave Crimson Storm a little bit of struggle in the first half, and RJ Palmer gets caught camping out in the lane, and that's a turnover for the Crimson Storm, who lead just 64-54. Just under 13 minutes to go in this one.
Yeah, early on, Crimson Storm had all the control, and right now there's just a lot of confusion on both sides of the floor for the Storm.
Jackson fades over Palmer, misses it. Logan Hicks is in the game for Micah Spate. Dunn lobs it to Starkey, who catches it right in the basket, misses the up and under layup. Jackson rebounds and clears up ahead to Morris.
Yeah, I definitely think we're seeing some early season miscommunication in this one. And
Carter Burns nails the three-pointer over Starkey, and the lead is down to 7 for SNU. Brady Mulkey set to check in next dead ball.
But I think we're seeing some early season miscommunication, not quite being in the right position, but there they certainly are.
Great entry pass to Dunn, and Starkey's able to turn and slam it home to stop the bleeding momentarily for SNU.
We'll see if that can give this SNU offense the jolt that they need, as they've kind of been a little stagnant here the last few minutes.
Dunn gets a hand on that Morris shot, and it goes out of bounds. Great defense there from the lanky Jonathan Dunn, and we've got a timeout on the court here. 11:31 to go in this one. SNU clinging to a 66-57 lead. We'll be right back after this short break. And we're back here at the Sawyer Center. SNU leading this one, but only by 9, 66-57, as Nebraska-Kearney is battled back here in the second half. Nearly a turnover there. Ball kicked around, but the Lopers recover. Just 2 on the shot clock. Morris has to get off a deep 3 at the buzzer that goes in and out. Boy, that would have been a backbreaker there for SNU after the defensive scramble there.
That would have been deflating. That was lucky that that one did not fall going in and out. But just everything going.
And a bad handoff there between Palmer and Hicks, and Parker Bading comes away with it. Another turnover for SNU.
Other than that 3 ball not falling, seems like everything's going Kearney's way right now. Except for that.
An offensive foul on Sam Morris. Throwing the defender off, going around the screen. It's his second, 4th team foul for the Lopers. And SNU will bring it back down. 10:50 to go in this one. SNU, a little bit of a struggle here in the second half. Palmer with the elbow jumper is short.
Yeah, tough shot there by Palmer in that situation.
And then Palmer lets Cannon Coster go right into him, and Coster lays it in. Coster's been the catalyst here in the second half, up to 15 points for Kearney, and the lead is down to 7. Zach Johnson for 3. It's short. Rebound is tipped up, but it looks like they're going to get Brady Mulkey. And a little bit of an over the back there. Palmer will check out. Ashton Charles will come into the game here.
Yeah, we know the Storm like to be aggressive and up-tempo, but taking a couple of shots seeming a little bit too early in the shot clock that are highly contested.
Johnson forces a tough shot from Coster. It's no good. Johnson pushing tempo. Mulkey fakes the three, drives on Burns. He's fouled by Burns. Looked like he got a lot of ball there. But Brady Mulkey will shoot two. It's going to be the third foul on Carter Burns. 5th team foul on Kearney here. So SNU approaching bonus territory.
I like to see that from Mulkey. He spent quite a bit of time at the free throw line in that exhibition game last weekend. So seeing that aggressiveness and fighting back towards the basket, drawing the foul, you love to see that out of the sophomore.
First free throw is good as Mulkey readies for the second, and he buries that one as well. SNU just 1 for their last 5 from the field, and 1 of their last 4 from three-point range. Bating working against Hicks. Morris harassed by Zach Johnson now.
It's a good job of Johnson there.
Stripped away, and it is saved. No. Zach Johnson was unable to save that one, and the ball will remain with the Lopers. Just 6 seconds on the shot clock here.
Couple of good efforts there by Johnson. Dunn went for the steal, and as he overplayed it, Johnson had to cover a couple of defenders there to keep from giving him the open shot, and he did a great job there keeping everything in front of him.
Hicks, Dunn, and Mulkey check out. Spate, Starkey, and Edwards back in. Bating with a free throw line jumper is no good, and nobody went to get the rebound. And a fresh 30 for the Lopers on the offensive rebound. Coster hits Penner, runs into a wall of Ashton Charles and Starkey, and Spate comes away with it. Spate drives down on Bating, just bounces off the rim, but he'll shoot two.
Yeah, that was some tough defense down low by Charles and Starkey. There was not much that Kearney could do there. He just kind of looked up, and there were two monsters just staring down at him.
Spate with his first free throw attempts of the night. Led the team in free throw shooting last year at nearly 85% from the charity stripe. And Spate had a knack last year in the second half of games to kind of take over in short bursts and propel SNU to big leads or right the ship when needed. He misses the second free throw there. The lead is 10. 69-59, under 9 minutes to go here in this one. Season opener for both teams. Coster working against the shorter Edwards, but Edwards, great defense forcing Coster down to the baseline, misses it off the side of the backboard. Edwards with the step back three is short.
Man, this place would have erupted there if that one had fallen, but left it short. And
Coster coast to coast again, and he puts it in over Spate. Gannon Coster's been fantastic here in the second half.
Yeah, multiple times you've seen him go coast to coast and just split a couple of defenders and lay it up. And SNU has not been able to slow him down.
Starkey just below the free throw line, turns, puts up the floater, it goes in and out.
I think he was even a little surprised how open he was.
And that's going to be an offensive foul on Sam Morris, giving Micah Spate a little shove to the stomach there. They stare each other down, and a little words exchange there.
Yeah, I don't think Sam Morris was too happy about that, and they started exchanging words, and it looks like they're even still kind of staring at each other as Spate brings it up court.
A little extended pressure there as the Lopers now fall back into that 2-3 zone. Dangerous cross-court pass by Spate is picked off by Jackson, and Bating has it now on the right wing. Morris with it, penetrating down the lane, left-handed shot and he's fouled by Ashton Charles.
Loper has a chance to cut this to a 2-possession game right here if he's able to knock those down.
That'll bring us to a stoppage of play. 7:37 to go. SNU in a dogfight here in the season opener with the Lopers. 69-61. We'll be right back after this. And we're back here at the Sawyer Center. Sam Morris at the line for Nebraska-Kearney, shooting 2. First one's up, and it is good. SNU with just a 69-62 lead. Just 18 points here in the second half so far after scoring 51 in the first half. Morris misses the second free throw. Dunn clears for SNU, and Micah Spate will bring it back up. Starting lineup back in for SNU: Stevens, Dunn, Spate, Palmer, and Starkey. Loper's still working out of that 2-3 zone that's given them a lot of trouble today, and Coster comes away with the deflection. Gets it down to Morris, and it's deflected off of Morris, and official's going to overrule him and say that was deflected off Dunn, which I do believe was the correct call there.
Yeah, it looked like Dunn got in there to swat it out of bounds, and Kearney was not happy with the original call, but refs look like they do get it right.
The shot clock reset, so the officials are getting that reset back to 26 since the possession did not change there. Morris will inbound on the baseline. Coster guarded by Stevens. Drives around him, but Stevens fouls him. So we'll do that again. First foul on Chris Stevens, 6th team foul. So both teams will be in the bonus the rest of the way. Kearney with 7 team fouls at this point. Baiting short on the jumper off the inbounds pass, and Spate pushing tempo for SNU. Stevens wanted that backdoor lob badly. Spate thought better of it. Now gets it back up top to Dunn. Spate probing on the left side there. Swings around. Stevens down the lane
nice
to
pass.
Palmer. Great finish in traffic for R.J. Palmer.
A great find from Stevens there to Palmer for the nice finish. Storm needed that one.
Coster is rejected at the rim by Starkey. Tried to go inside one too many times. And Dunn driving baseline, and he throws it down over Carter Burns.
A great sequence there. You've got the big man Starkey with a block on one end, Dunn throwing it down on the other end. All of a sudden, we've got a double-digit lead again on our hands.
Energy back in the Sawyer Center after a little bit of uncertainty. Morris driving around Dunn. Palmer with a big strip there, and they're going to get Jonathan Dunn with the foul. Not really sure there. He's looked like his hands were wide, and
yeah, I saw Palmer come swiping in, so I thought they were going to call it on him.
Dunn getting a good explanation there as Morris back to the free throw line, misses the first one long. Just Dunn's first personal foul. Just 11 fouls overall for SNU tonight, as Kyle Jewell checks back into the game for Parker Baiting.
Yeah, as we mentioned in that first half, Storm did a really nice job of defending without fouling. Fouling a little bit more here in the second half, but still only 11 total in the game. Really solid job by that defensive unit.
Morris misses both free throws. Lopers just 5 of 11 from the free throw line. Certainly could be a little bit tighter if they were a little bit more efficient there. Spate with it there, gets it inside to Starkey. Lost it going up. Late foul call on Jewell. Looked like the correct one, though. He lost it on the way up.
Yeah, that whistle came in late. I didn't think they were going to call anything, and I think Kearney was expecting to get away with it. But nonetheless, Starkey on the line.
Better to get it late than get it wrong as Starkey goes back to the free throw line. 6 for 7 there prior to this trip. Makes the first. And he hits them both. Quick 6-0 burst for the Crimson Storm. Have them back in the lead at 75-62. 5:40 to go in this one. Coster, who's been the offense in the second half for the Lopers, misses a 3 long. Good challenge from Palmer. Spate kicks on the wing to Dunn. Stops, pops, hits the three-pointer. Great look from Micah Spate and Jonathan Dunn with the in-rhythm three-pointer, and SNU has blown this back open to 16.
That star power is huge for SNU. Just like that, they can put points on the board in a hurry, and when it looked like it could be in jeopardy, all of a sudden up 16.
Absolutely. So many different options for SNU in this one. They've played 10 players tonight. 8 of those have scored, and now Jonathan Dunn now with 22 points tonight to go along with 7 rebounds, a pair of steals, and 4 assists. Just a terrific all-around game from him. But those in-rhythm shots, you know, when they're out in transition, have been few and far between tonight, Phil.
Absolutely, yeah. They're really struggling to really get in that rhythm and get going. And we've seen Dunn get a couple of those open looks off of transition, but that one right there was a huge one. May have just put this one officially out of reach just over 5 minutes ago. But you also got to look at Noah Starkey, who's kind of opened up the door for the three-point shot with his play down low. Now up to a double-double with 20 points and 11 rebounds.
Morris working against Dunn up top. Now over to Jewell, and Morris works around the screen from Burns. Burns lost the dribble, couldn't get it again, and Spate takes advantage. Is fouled by Jewell in the back.
And they're going to call it on the floor.
On the floor. It's a good call to sit in the NBA. Micah, you can do that in a couple years, son. In a couple years, that will be an and one. But here, it is just a 1-and-1. Spate will go to the line. That's the third on Kyle Jewell.
It was interesting looking back, though, on that steal from Spate whenever Kearney lost the ball. Looked like they were a little afraid to pick the ball back up, just kind of watched it bounce in front of them, and Spate just said, "Thank you, I'll take that," and headed back the other way.
Yeah, it might have been better for Burns just to take the double dribble there than to give away the breakaway layup there. As Spate hits the first, and he makes the second one, and just like that, SNU on an 11-0 run has opened the lead back up to 18 at 80-62. Good sign for SNU going forward that it's the starters that have really been the catalyst here in this run. Morris, wild bounce pass, finds Jewell out top. Burns with a deep three, and he nails it.
Knocked that down. Storm also left A.J. Jackson wide open down low. They missed him, but I'm sure that Kearney will take the 3 instead of the 2.
A little bit of extended pressure. Starkey kicks it back out to Spate. Up top for 3, and he answers. Quick timeout called by Adam Bohach.
Gives Spate the double-double to go along with Starkey's. Now Spate 11 points, 10 assists himself.
So SNU responds to the 3 from Carter Burns with a 3 of their own. Opens up an 83-65 lead with just over 4 minutes to go in this one. And the ball movement has been pretty crisp and efficient all night, now up to 22 assists on 27 made baskets for the Crimson Storm.
Yeah, that's been a huge part of their success. As we've mentioned throughout this broadcast, shooting's been a little bit up and down, but you know, sitting now late in the game at 47%, that's not too bad. But it's really been that ball movement that's allowed them to get to that point, especially shooting almost 48% from three. Really great ball movement and really solid off-ball movement by the team. Players continuing to move without the ball, I think, has been a key part of that ability to find each other in rhythm.
To contrast that, Kearney with just 10 assists on 25 made baskets. The three-pointers are basically a wash at this point. SNU's knocked down 11, Kearney's knocked down 10, but the difference at the free throw line has been very stark. No pun intended.
Absolutely. Looking at it, 18 of 22 for the Storm, and as you mentioned, Noah Starkey, 8 of 9. And then you look at Nebraska-Kearney, only 5 for 11 as a team. That's been very rough. Not only not a lot of free throws taken, but struggling with the ones that they have been given.
Jackson inbounds to Morris, who will bring it across the timeline against the SNU team. Logan Hicks back into the game for Chris Stevens. Guarding Coster. Coster's long with the jumper, and Hicks skies for the rebound.
After Coster really brought Kearney back into the game, he's really cooled off here in the second half and struggling a little bit here to close this one out.
Spate with it, step back three-pointer is good, and Micah Spate, like we talked about a few minutes ago, with 8 quick points, has put SNU back up by 21, and it's just those little bursts from Micah Spate that make him such a dangerous player, Phil.
Absolutely. You know, you see that, see his ability to close out games. He's not the scorer that Dunn is, but just his ability just to take over at times, just when you least expect it's what makes him such a special player.
Beautiful up and under move from Jackson there to get 2 points over Palmer and Starkey. Hicks with it now. Ball knocked out of bounds by Jackson. And it looks like we're back to the rule where a timeout within 30 seconds of a TV or a media timeout will count as the media timeout, as we have no stoppage there at the under 4. So I will take that. Starkey working inside, ball is stripped, and Coster comes away with it. Kicks it in the corner to Jewell. Back up top to Coster. He drives down the lane. Lost it going up. But they're going to get Starkey with another foul, and that's going to be his third. 8th team foul on SNU, as we are under 3 minutes now to go in this one, and Cannon Coster will go back to the free throw line. Just 1 of 3 there tonight. Missed his last 2 on his last trip there. He is short on this one as well.
Yeah, Loper's continuing to struggle from that line. Just cannot find the rhythm in this one. Now 5 of 12 as a team.
Morgan Susi into the game now for the first time tonight. Chase Winchester back in along with Henry Penner. Coster will hit that one, and he will take a seat. Parker Bading back into the game. Ashton Charles in for Noah Starkey. So it's Charles, Spate, Dunn, Palmer, and Hicks in the game for SNU right now. Charles drives around Susi, missed the shot short, and Palmer will pick up his second foul. And we will go the other way for 1 and 1.
Yeah, Charles continues to struggle from the field, but I like that aggressiveness there. He saw the open lane, knew that he had the mismatch, just couldn't quite finish. But you like the ability and the awareness to attack that basket.
Brady Mulkey will come in for Palmer. Penner at the line for the first of 2, or 1 and 1, I should say, and he misses it. Done with the rebound. 2:35 to go here in the season opener. SNU comfortably in front, 86-68, but it was not always the case for SNU.
Yeah, after a strong start for SNU, they came out of the second half break a little sluggish and a little sloppy, and allowed Kearney to fight their way back.
Done for three is short. Charles, wild swat at the rebound. It almost went in.
I'm not sure he was aiming for the basket on that one, but it almost found it anyway.
Pinner, guarded by Mulkey, who's some interesting hand movements there. Jackson turns on Hicks. Good over the shoulder. Hook shot is no good. Rolled around and out. Dunn clears and brings it across as we're under 2 minutes to go here in this one. SNU will take on Washburn tomorrow night at 5 o'clock as Mulkey with a nice hook shot just off the rim. Dunn there for the offensive rebound and put back. But we'll be back here tomorrow at 5 o'clock for SNU and Washburn. Or it'll be at 5 o'clock, or depending on the finish of Kearney and OBU, they will play at 3 o'clock. So we'll see how long that delays the start of our game tomorrow evening. Ashton Charles with the blocking fouls. Chase Winchester barrels into him. 10th team foul, second on Charles, and Winchester will shoot 2. Again, Washburn with a thrilling 99-96 win over OBU in the early game here tonight. So SNU certainly with their work cut out for them against the Ichabods, which is a great nickname, by the way.
Ichabod's an incredible nickname, and really an incredible team. You know, they had a lead in that one, let it slip away, and all of a sudden it looked like OBU had all the momentum in the world. And then Javion Blake just came through and just started torching the net. That's going to be someone that the Crimson Storm are really going to have to focus on tomorrow.
Coleman Edwards and Zach Johnson into the game for Dunn and Spate. Finish this one out. Logan Hicks, a long three-pointer, is just long. Pinner comes around with the rebound. Susie working on Ashton Charles. Kicks it back out to Winchester. Elbow jumper over Johnson is short. Rebound tipped around and won by Charles, who lost it, but lost it to Johnson.
I think Charles knew that he was falling and was about to get the travel, so he just kind of threw it and hoped for the best.
Edwards for 3 is no good. Rebound controlled by Winchester. Puts it up the court to Baiting, who looks for Pinner, but he lost it. And Coleman Edwards will bring it up, and that should do it here for the Crimson Storm. So SNU certainly not perfect and not anyway, but I'm sure that's how Coach Adam Bohotch would like it. A nice 88-69 win over Nebraska-Kearney, but plenty of space to do some coaching for him as well. So, Phil, what are your quick thoughts after the SNU season opening win here?
Well, you like what you saw there late in that second half. You know, this is the kind of game early on in the season where all of a sudden you saw a big lead just disappear, and you're starting to, you know, you might start to doubt yourself a little bit, start to question some things. But you saw them really start to assert themselves and show their dominance there late in that second half. You saw players like Dunn and Spate just absolutely take over and kind of will this Crimson Storm team to a pretty convincing win here against the Lopers.
We will take a short break, and when we come back, we will have Coach Adam Bohotch with us, and we'll talk about the game and break it down for you. So we'll be right back after this short break. And we're back here at the Sawyer Center with SNU senior center Noah Starkey after an 88-69 win. And Noah, always nice to get the season started with a win.
Yeah, definitely. It's great to come out here at home and start it off the season right.
Now, you guys certainly want to build off last year, but obviously that's in the past. How have you guys been able to put that in the past and not dwell too much on your success from last year and look ahead to this year?
I think the main thing is just we come out every day trying to get better in practice and just like focusing on the next thing and getting better each day. So,
what are things that you look to in the offseason, things that you needed to improve on, and how you've made your game better coming into this year?
In the offseason, I was just working out a bunch, trying to get in better shape and stronger and faster, and I think that helped me out a lot. So,
Starkey finished with 20 points, 11 rebounds, first double-double of the season in the first game, and I'm sure that had to feel nice, especially last year. You're averaging 6.6 boards a game. Was that kind of an emphasis for you to be a bit more assertive on the glass this year?
Yeah, definitely. I was going out there trying to get all the rebounds I could, so I thought it was a good game.
How important is that for you this year now with Quaylen out for the season as well?
Yeah, he was like the leading rebounder in the conference last year, so somebody's got to get out there and grab those boards that he was getting. So,
you guys kind of got a little tight there in the second half. What were they doing defensively that was kind of throwing you guys off a little bit?
I mean, I think we were just kind of getting scrambled on defense and not getting matched up, but we came out and called the timeout, I think, and then after that we got it back together, so that was good.
How'd their zone affect you? Any particular way that their zone kind of threw you guys off a little bit offensively?
Yeah, I mean, I think we sometimes we're not always like a zone can give us a different look that we're not used to all the time, but I think we figured it out after a while, and that helped us out.
All righty. Noah Starkey, again, 20 points, 11 rebounds, and SNU's 88-69 win over Nebraska-Kearney. When we come back, we'll be talking with head coach Adam Bohach. And we're here with head coach Adam Bohonch after SNU's 88-69 win over Nebraska-Kearney. And, Coach, always good to start the season with a victory.
Yeah, super. Great crowd tonight. And you're right. It's great to start that way.
Coach, a lot of good things for you guys tonight. Dominated at the free throw line, limited your turnovers, had a lot of good things defensively as well. Walk us through some of the things that you were really pleased with.
Yeah, at halftime we were pleased to have only fouled 4 times. They have some veteran guys that are good at knowing how to draw fouls, and they got the ball in some positions on the court where you're foul prone, I thought. So we did great. That was something we were emphasizing, and then we just had 2 turnovers at the half. And so that's why we had 51 at the half was, we didn't foul them, and then we got a shot nearly every trip down. So those were 2 positives.
Got a little tense there in the second half. What were some of the struggles that kind of led to that getting a little bit tight there? Yeah,
I thought maybe the first 5 minutes, boy, they had a great response, and you knew they would coming out of the locker room. They finished the first half better than us, and they started the second half way better than us. And those are 2 key pivotal moments of games. And so, we need to be better at that. But then, I thought maybe their start coupled with our poor start offensively affected our defense. Our personality there, that first 5 minutes of the second half wasn't very good, wasn't very tough, and they carved us up. And I think they scored 15 in that first 5 minutes maybe, or until we called timeout, and then maybe they scored 15 the rest of the half. So it got better as the half went on, but it wasn't a very good start to the second half.
And I think we've seen over the past 2 years that what makes Micah Spate so special is he is a dynamic scorer, but he always does that in kind of short bursts, and he did that there midway through the second half that really kind of stemmed the tide and put you guys back in the driver's seat. And just a really special night for him with 7 rebounds and 10 assists as well.
Yeah, and that's the thing, Luke. It's in spurts because he kind of picks his spots, and right, that's what you kind of have to do as a point guard. He's setting the table for so many other people, and then we need him to score it too. And so he's got a full-time job, but he's really good and has a tremendous feel for doing both of those things. And there was a segment there in the first half where he was everywhere, kind of all at once. I mean, defense and offense, and he put together some stretches of really good play tonight, I thought.
The loss of Quaylen Newton, certainly a big blow for you guys in a variety of ways. One of those certainly being on the boards. You guys did a great job on the glass tonight with Jonathan getting 10 boards and Noah chipping in with 11 as well, and Ashton with 8 boards. Even though he didn't find the basket, chipping in with 8 boards as well. How big is that for you guys to rebound well as a team in his absence?
Yeah, it felt like maybe the rebounds weren't as good as that. They got some offensive glass on us there where they had us broken again in that first segment of the second half. But Noah has the ability to be a tremendous rebounder, and he did good today, grabbing it and securing it. And most of the time when he got his hands on it tonight, it was his, and so that was super to see. And Jonathan with 10 is just awesome because now he can start our break just as soon as he gets the rebound, and Spate with 7 defensive rebounds from the point guard spot. Again, that just allows us to start offense right then and there, and so great job by all 3 of those guys.
Quick turnaround facing Washburn tomorrow afternoon at 5 o'clock. What are some of the challenges that come with just a quick turnaround like that against another quality opponent?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm excited to see if we can do anything on a one-day prep, one day to get ready. And then 2, when you've just played one time, you don't have a whole cache of experience. So guys that played poorly today, or didn't play as well as they wanted to today, how are they going to respond tomorrow? Are they going to pout, or are they going to come in here in the morning and be dialed in and be ready to go? And I anticipate that's how we'll respond, but I'm anxious to see, and that's certainly the challenge for tomorrow.
You were scouting a little bit of Washburn and OBU earlier. What did you see from the Ichabod's that you're excited to face tomorrow?
I mean, they play so stinking hard, Luke, and that's a credit to their coach. I got to see Brett's teams play when he was at Baker, and they played so hard. They'd bite you and fight you, and in a complimentary way, and they do the same thing. And then along with that, they're really skilled and have a really good scheme. So it'll be a tremendous game tomorrow, and we'll have to have a really good day of prep and play really hard to have a chance.
Seems like kind of the best of both worlds for you as the head coach. You get a quality win and plenty of things to coach your guys on as well coming out of this one.
Yeah, we're not disappointed. I hope you don't hear that, Luke. It is what it is, right? I mean, that's what each possession, there's good and there's bad, and you talk about both, and you try to grow in the areas that you weren't as good as maybe you wanted to be, and that's everyone's challenge. So who does that the best tonight going into tomorrow is really important.
Absolutely. Coach, thank you for your time, and we'll see you tomorrow evening after hopefully another win over Washburn.
Super.
That's head coach Adam Bohach after SNU's, again, 88-69 win over the Lopers of Nebraska-Kearney. We will take a short break, bring Phil back in here, and then we will wrap this one up with final stats and analysis. Awesome.
Perfect.
Thanks, Coach.
Luke. Appreciate it. There were some good plays out there, wasn't there?
Oh, yeah. And back one last time here at the Sawyer Center, wrapping up SNU's 88-69 win over Nebraska-Kearney. Just running through a couple final stats here. SNU finished the game 45% shooting from the field, 44% from three, 12 of 27. SNU dominated at the charity stripe, 18 of 22 from the free throw line to just 7 of 16 for Nebraska-Kearney. Leading the way was Jonathan Dunn, 24 points on 8 of 14 shooting, 10 rebounds. Noah Starkey also with a double-double, 20 points, 11 rebounds. And Micah Spate with a clutch double-double as well from him, 14 points and 10 assists, going along with 7 rebounds. Coster for Nebraska-Kearney finishes with 17 points, leading the way. Carter Burns off the bench scored 16 points on 6 of 8 shooting. And Phil, overall, a great performance for SNU, a solid win against a young but experienced opponent.
Certainly, as talked about at the beginning of the broadcast, anytime you're able to get a win over an MIAA conference team, that's certainly a good win. And while there was a little bit of up and down throughout the game, coming away with a nice 19-point win and some really solid play from all of your starters all around.
Plenty of things to work on as well. SNU got a little sidetrack there in the second half. Just not tremendous energy there to start the second half, and it kind of led to a little bit of a tighter game than we would have expected. Washburn got it down to, Kearney got it down to 7 points there in the second half before SNU kind of took over for the rest of the game.
Yeah, a little bit of a lull there. You saw Storm start to struggle hitting shots, getting a little lazy on defense, giving people open drives to the lane. We saw a couple of times Coster just kind of go coast to coast, and while SNU looked like they were back, it looked like they had no interest in standing in front of him. So just kind of a little bit of a laziness, a little bit of a lull is what allowed Kearney to fight their way back and all of a sudden make it look like this might be a tight game.
SNU will be back in action less than 24 hours from now. They'll take on the Washburn Ichabods, and they faced Oklahoma Baptist earlier tonight in the first game of this leg of the GAC MIAA Challenge. And you were on the call for that one. Just a thrilling game that Washburn was able to win 99-96. What did you see from the Ichabods that SNU should be looking for tomorrow?
Oh, well, lots of weapons for the Ichabod's team. Talked about a little bit earlier, Javion Blake's a handful, and was absolutely a monster down the stretch. When it looked like OBU had that game won, Javion Blake said absolutely not and did everything he could, just willing Washburn to a victory. But throughout that game, they had multiple players that really were stepping up. You've got also Tyler Guyman just was a monster all across the game, dishing it to teammates, hitting some big-time threes in that game. Then you've also got players like senior David Salick, who struggled a little bit in the paint of finishing, but just continuing to bruise and get to the line where he was just racking up point after point. So just lots of weapons for this Washburn team that's going to take some really solid and disciplined defense to contain.
SNU certainly not dodging any bullets as far as the schedule goes this year. Lots of tough competition. That's certainly a good thing for the Crimson Storm, particularly in non-conference play, getting ready for the challenges of Great American Conference play and defending that conference title. Any final thoughts from you, Phil, on this one?
Oh, just looking forward to seeing where this team goes. As we said, it's first game of the season, a little bit of maybe some jitters or some possible just being a little too hyped. We saw a lot of balls that were overshot there at the beginning of the game, so maybe a little too much excitement there. But overall, picking up where they left off last season, it'll be exciting to see lots of talent coming back, seeing them continue to flourish, and really excited to see where they go. I think the Great American Conference is going to be even tougher this year than it was last year. Teams like OBU that we saw earlier tonight as well, looking like a completely different team than we saw from them last year. So conference play going to be tough, so it's going to be nice to see this non-conference schedule really prepare them for the difficult schedule that's to come moving forward as well.
And again, we'll be here all season long for your home games here at the Sawyer Center. And Sports Information Director James Hill will handle all the road games. So we've got you covered for every game, home and away, except for that trip to Honolulu, unfortunately. But we've got you covered for all of SNU basketball this season. We hope you stick with us all year long. It should be a fun ride for the Crimson Storm, and they start that ride with an 88-69 win over Nebraska-Kearney. For Phil Younts, I'm Luke McConnell. We'll see you tomorrow night here at the Sawyer Center.